Welcome to In Our Mom's Basement Video Game Podcast, where we talk about everything video games with your host, Dan Giofue and Rage Quit Pat.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 78 of In Our Mom's Basement. Rage Quit Pat here, of course, being joined by Dan the Pizza Man. Dan, we are 2 episodes away from milestone 80. How are you doing, Dan?
Yeah, it's been a long ride. I can't wait for the episode 80. Hopefully we got some stuff going on. I've been doing good. PTO starts today. It's been an interesting Monday. How you doing?
I'm doing good. PTO is always good. Refresh the brain, so vacation is always nice. So have fun on your vacation. I was on vacation a little over a month ago, so it was always good to kind of recharge, refresh. It's always nice to get away. So you guys can listen to this podcast, of course, on all podcasting platforms, Spotify. If you want to watch us live, we are usually live on Twitch on Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. Definitely join our Discord for updates on when we go live on the podcast. But if you want to listen to the audio version, like I said, all podcast forums, Spotify, Apple, Google, all that fun stuff. Dan, so we got a little bit of sad news. You know, it's an end of an era, not so much for physical copies, right, of the Xbox 360, but the digital store. So the digital store of Xbox has officially closed, I believe, July 30th or July 29th. I don't remember the exact date, but that was the final day that the Xbox digital store was open. I'm so very sad. I mean, you know, again, these companies do this. Nintendo is obviously notorious for doing it, shutting down the store. This is the first time Xbox has done it because, well, the OG Xbox didn't really have a digital store. But yeah, end of an era for anyone that wants to buy digital on the Xbox 360. You know, what just briefly, what are some of your great memories on the Xbox 360?
Damn, 360. I don't remember the last time I even touched a 360. I still have a lot of my discs though. I have quite a few of them still stored away somewhere, but no Xbox. You know, I've been thinking about buying one again, and a couple of other retro consoles again. Cause I miss those old feels of the consoles, man. Man, dude, my 360 days are mostly just Halo and Call of Duty. That's literally my 360 days, pretty much.
And Diablo, don't forget you got Diablo.
Yeah, I play that more on PC though.
Oh, well, 360, again, like I still have mine. Again, you can still buy physical copies, but of course, depending on the game, you know, as we just saw, actually, Deadpool and Wolverine just came out. So if you were looking for physical copies of the Deadpool game and Wolverine X-Men Origins, good luck because the prices, for an example, so if you got Deadpool the game on 360 before Deadpool and Wolverine, that game was going for about 10 to 20 bucks on, you know, resellers like eBay, Mercari, whatnot. It was only going for 10, 20 bucks, right? If you want to get it right now because of how hot Deadpool and Wolverine is right now and the movie came out, it skyrocketed to 60 to 80 bucks for a physical copy.
I heard you can't even buy them digital anymore.
Yes, you cannot buy those. Yeah, no.
Like even on PC or anything.
Yeah, those were also taken off digital marketplaces as well. So it actually, they were never on the 360 marketplace for the store anyway. But now, because of that movie, they skyrocketed up. X-Men Origins was always kind of really up there in price recently. It's been like 65 to 80 bucks on 360. Obviously, it's a very good game. Deadpool game isn't too bad either. But as we see, you know, with physical media, if a movie, and even with comics too, and we're going to touch on comics a little bit later, as Dan and I are going to make just a nudge of an announcement here, but even we see with physical media, physical games, comic books, if a movie is really good, like Deadpool and Wolverine, it's going to skyrocket. I'll give you one more example. Madam Web. I actually finally bought the comic of the first appearance of Madam Web when the Madam Web movie came out. It was about 150 bucks. I got it for 35 bucks. because the movie tanked and the value tanked. So sometimes it's always good to wait. Now, again, I don't know how much Deadpool and Wolverine, how much their prices are going to stay the same. But again, because of this marketplace closure, I'm sure, and the movie's popularity, I'm sure it'll kind of linger around that for a little while. But otherwise, 360 marketplace closed. RIP. Great memories again on the 360. Like Dan said, I have some very fond memories as well with Halo and Call of Duty, staying up to 3 o'clock in the morning, barely getting any sleep to go to work the next day sometimes. Was always a great time. Of course, you had a lot of other bangers as well. What's coming out later this year, the Dead Rising remaster. It was originally a Xbox 360 exclusive, so you had that. I mean, there was a lot of exclusive games on the 360 that were really, really good. Of course, you had Alan Wake. There's others, third-party titles that are really good. Red Dead Redemption. I have my retro collection right here. Now, I can't believe it. Next year, Dan, before we go on to our next topic, before we give a moment of silence for the Xbox 360 marketplace, the Xbox 360 next year turns 20 years old. Next year.
Damn, already? Man, it took me a second to process.
Next year, the Xbox 360 will turn, 20 years old, which I cannot believe because there's still some games that have aged well on that console. It's a great console. In my opinion, a top 2 console of all time, the Xbox 360. But marketplace closed, so now we move on. Dan and I have a little bit of a smudge of announcement here. Dan and I are going to be moving. We're still going to talk about games, of course, but we're going to into the pop culture market a little bit. So a new podcast, you're going to start to hear us talk about movies, TV shows, maybe some announcements. So today we're going to talk about D23. And also, I'm going to be introducing Rage Quit Pat's Spidey Pickups. So if I have any Spider-Man pickups for that week, I'll be showing them off. What do you think, Dan? It looked like you were going to add something.
No. I'm looking forward to some Spideys.
All righty. So, Dan, D23 just happened. Obviously, some insane announcement, some trailer leaks as well, which I'm sure have probably been taken down. But we've had some insane announcements. So, do you want to kick us off on the D23?
Yeah. So, all the leak trailers pretty much got taken down within like an hour. Thankfully, we were able to see them, and I really, really loved. We'll start off high, and then we're gonna start off high with some Daredevil, because that trailer, I love that trailer. That trailer was good. Frank is back. Matt is back, and we're ready for some beautiful, beautiful action.
What I loved about Daredevil and one of the in the trailer itself is you saw all the Daredevil suits.
Yeah.
If you kind of freeze frame it on all the masks, there's all the different Daredevil suits. So I wonder. I mean, obviously in the trailer they showed him in the red suit, and we've seen him in the past suit with the yellow. So I wonder if we're gonna see him in any of those other suits. But man, that trailer, it's obviously Daredevil Born Again. We heard it got off to a rocky start, right? They had these other different writers, and there was that the series was going to be heavily about Matt and Foggy's relationship, and we weren't going to see him in the suit until like episode 7. And then I don't know what happened at Disney, but they said fuck that. They fired those writers, and we got the writers that worked on the Netflix series. So
yeah,
I'm excited.
Yeah,
the
full blown riot.
Kingpin is back as well, but also for people who read the Daredevil comics, I read them here and there, so I'm not 100% too fully familiar with it, but I understand it. We got Moose. I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm sure someone on the internet will correct me. That seems to be one of the villains in Daredevil Born Again, as well as they teased that. Looks absolutely sick. Looks very pretty much looks identical to his comic book counterpart, which is good to see. And then, of course, like you said as well, Dan, Frank Castle is back. the Punisher is back as well. So I really hope that, like what happened with the Netflix series, he appeared in Daredevil, and then we got a Punisher series. So I hope to see that again. But
Yeah,
time will tell.
the best part of that trailer was with Matt Murdock and Kingpin sitting in a restaurant. He's like, "You step out of line, I'll find you." And he was like, "You or your dark passenger?" I was like, "Oh, I fucking got the chills, man."
Kingpin knows, yeah. So I wonder if they're gonna go with the storyline where Karen, because there is a storyline in the comics where Karen reveals his identity because she becomes a drug addict. So I wonder if they're gonna go with that. They didn't really tease too much of it, right? Like you saw Foggy and Karen together, but they didn't really tease too much of that. But I wonder if that's the direction they're gonna go on how Kingpin finds out his identity. But
Yeah,
that's one of the comic arcs.
I would say that Daredevil's probably one of the highlights of D23. We got to see a little bit of Matt. We see in Spider-Man when he was, well, allegedly, at the end. So we got to see these characters a little bit in the Marvel universe, but now we're finally getting them back on the screen.
And we also, before we go on to our next announcement on D23, we also got the line that he said in Spider-Man, "What kind of lawyer are you? I'm a really good one." So that seems to be the line now for this Daredevil in the MCU. What else we got on D23?
So another thing that we got, this is not as big, but I'm super excited for. We didn't get any trailers for this or anything, but they finally announced a new Tron movie. I love the last Tron movie. I thought it was fantastic. So now the new Tron movie is gonna, it's gonna have a soundtrack by Nine Inch Nails this time, and hopefully it's gonna release next year, as they say it is. So, did you watch Tron? Both
Tron's
of them?
out of my element. Tron's all you. Tron's out of my element. I'm not going to speak too much on Tron because I never got into. I played the games, but I never got into the movies at all. So that's your realm on this one.
Fucking fantastic movies. I'm super excited about that. They also announced that there will be a new Toy Story 5. I'm a Toy Story fan. I know you're a Toy Story fan.
Yeah, I'm a huge Toy Story fan. I always wonder, and then listen, I'm all about introducing it to the next generation, but I thought Toy Story 3 was the end, right? It was such a warm ending, he gives away his toys, and then we get Toy Story 4, and Woody leaves the toys for a Bo. But now, what they teased is that there's going to be 50 Buzz Lightyears that have malfunctioned because it's the toys against modern technology. So it's going to be all these AI Buzz Lightyears, it looks like, an army of them, and that's what they're going up against. I don't know how Woody comes back. I guess who knows? But I'm going to go see it. Like you said, I'm a big Toy Story fan. All the Toy Stories have been really good. There really hasn't been a bad Toy Story movie for me to kind of say, yeah, they need to stop making sequels. So, and it's a moneymaker, man. I mean, it's, we got Disney's, really quickly, Disney and the MCU, they got to get asses back in seats, right? And what's going to get asses back in seats? Toy Story. I'm going to go see it. It'll get my ass certainly back in the seat. So I'm excited for it.
Yeah, so am I. Can't wait. So another trailer that was leaked as well, which I'll just say it's all right. It's all right. We're going to talk about Ironheart. All I have is it's all right.
Yeah, Ironheart is not a character I'm really hugely into. I did like her in Ironheart appeared in what series? What series did she appear in Disney Plus? Was it Miss Marvel? Or a movie? I'm trying to remember.
No, I think it was a movie.
Yeah, what movie did
Man.
Ironheart appear in?
Yeah, I can't even remember. I don't know. It's just like I'm not really.
Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. There we go. Wakanda Forever.
I don't even know. How
Which
you
was
didn't remember
an
that.
okay, which was an okay movie.
Okay.
The good thing about what these new MCU shows and what they're doing is they're not going to be super connected to the movies like they previously were. So you're not forced to watch something that you're maybe not into. Ironheart, I'll give a try though. I enjoyed Miss Marvel, She-Hulk. I can't really speak too much on. I don't really want to give my opinion on that. Echo, I thought was also very good.
I like that.
I enjoyed Echo, but Ironheart, I'll give a shot. Ironheart, the trail looked okay, but I definitely want to see more for sure.
Now I think we could get into something that Pat can't wait for. Another trailer that leaks. I know this motherfucker texted me right away as he saw it. He's like, bro, I cannot wait. And we're gonna talk about Agatha all the way. All along, sorry,
Yeah,
Agatha all along.
yeah. I guess Twitter or whoever really wanted an Agatha show because, I mean, it's not a character I'm really truly engaged with at all. I thought she did pretty good. I thought she was cool on WandaVision. So I was like super surprised they gave her her own show. Again, I don't read the Agatha comics if there is any. I don't, I'm not really into the character, so I won't be watching. But if you do, let me know.
I mean, the thing is, like, I watch them just to watch them. Like, they might be shit, but I'll still watch them just because there
I
might be
did that for
something in
Secret
there.
Invasion, dude. I can't do it.
And you know what? Like, Secret
I did
Invasion pissed me off, and that's another thing
so
I
bad.
don't want to talk about because I'm going to get heated. All right, but now we could get into a little bit of Star Wars here, and the first teaser trailer was shown for Skeleton Crew. Doesn't look too bad, but the thing is, I don't think it's going to do that very well.
Yeah, right. Star Wars has been in the news, negative news, I should say, a lot lately. Not only just with TV shows, but gaming as well. Star Wars Outlaws is getting thrashed on the internet, and again, it's the internet, so at this point for Star Wars, and obviously Star Wars Acolyte got completely crushed by a lot of the fans, and some of those fans you don't know if they were review bombing, right? That's been a big thing now as of late. Is people review bomb? They don't watch the show, they don't play the games, they just go on Rotten Tomatoes, they go on Metacritic, and they just thrash. I haven't started Star Wars Acolyte because I will say word of mouth. Not so much just the reviews online, but word of mouth. A lot of people have said it's very mixed. And they're mixed. I would say is leaning more towards it's not that good. I'm a fan of Jude Law, but I do agree with you, Dan. I think this is going to be something where you're going to have to kind of watch it for yourself, because I will not be surprised if I look online and it's review bombed.
Yeah, and review bomb is such a common thing these days. It's fucking insane.
Except for Borderlands, though. Except for Borderlands.
That's
Except for
different. Well,
Borderlands.
they had like $100 million budget. And they fucking failed. But Skeleton Crew, I'll watch it. I did not see Acolyte yet. Mike Travel Mike actually pushed me hard to finish Andor, which was a slow start, but I ended up really enjoying Andor a lot at the end.
Yep.
So I'm glad that I actually watched it. But Acolyte is next. I did hear very mixed emotions about it, so we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, and with Andor, I agree, 100% agree with you. Very slow start, but towards the end, it does pick up really well. And I'm actually excited for Andor Season 2, which I believe is next year as well.
Yes, I think that is next year. And, keeping with that Star Wars topic, we could just move to the next one that was announced. And that is The Mandalorian and Grogu, which is going to be the movie. Yes, the movie, which is going to be 2026. And it's going to be Grogu in Mandalorian armor. Super excited to see it. I think the Mandalorian shows, the seasons were pretty good. I really enjoyed them. The first one, obviously, I liked the most. So hopefully they keep that same energy for the movie.
I think so too. And even the teaser trailer looked really, really good. It actually got me excited to see those two together, because that's what I really loved on the show was their relationship, is Mandalorian and Grogu's. And obviously through season 1, it was to get him to, he had he had the Force in him, and obviously they wanted to get him to a Jedi, which then brought us to season 2, which got us Ahsoka, which got us that unbelievable Luke Skywalker scene at the finale of season 2. Season 3 for me, I was not a fan of, because it took away from the relationship of Mando and Grogu. They were just second fiddle to the other character. I'm blanking on her name, but I just wasn't a fan of it. And I know there are some people that enjoyed it, and if you did, good. I'm happy for you. But that season just wasn't for me. So I'm happy that they're making a movie just focused on those characters. And for our Twitch question here, is Pedro Pascal going to be in the movie? Yes, he is, Travel Mike.
Yes,
He is.
he's still playing Mando. And to Diego, just to answer, it flopped bad. It only earned 7.7 million from foreign theaters, 60.5 opening weekend, and 150 million dollars to produce and market. So I would call that a very big fan. So to Pappy features as Mando as well. Yeah, Pat will be in there.
I mean, if I was, I would have bought a house by now for that Disney.
For
I mean,
real,
that
though.
Disney money, right?
And then, I mean, there was a lot of things discussed at D23. I mean, obviously we can't into it all. You know, we did the ones I enjoyed. I announced, you know, they already announced a new Avatar next year. I didn't even watch the last Avatar, so I'm not really gonna speak on that. I'm not a big Avatar fan. I didn't even think the first one was that good. They announced a Freaky Friday 2. Freaky Friday 1 was a fabulous movie back in the day, so I'll watch the second one. Anything else you want to throw in from D23?
So I actually want to laugh at this, the Snow White trailer as well, and we actually have 7 dwarfs. Obviously, there was that controversy, right? That controversial picture came out. There was only one dwarf. The rest were, you know, people that were not a fan of the people that were casted. So Disney or whoever made the call, and we got 7 dwarfs now. You know, I'm not really a fan of any of the live action adaptations that Disney has done so far because it's basically what it is. It's a copy and paste. It also doesn't feel like the love from the cartoon versions are invested in the live action ones. They feel more obviously like a cash grab. Like, hey, here's the live action, here's a CGI, here's cash grabs. I will say, like, Beauty and the Beast was fine. That was the one I saw. I thought that one was pretty good. But again, you know, these live action Disney movies, again, to me, are just a copy and paste. The love just isn't there like they were from their cartoon counterparts, and they're just cash grabs. Which, again, brings me to Lilo and Stitch. They're doing a live action Lilo and Stitch. Stitch looks cool, though, I will say. I did like the design.
I saw the videos of the Stitch. It looked pretty cool.
I think it looks pretty cool. But again, did we really need one? Do we really need a live action Lilo and Stitch? I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. But, you know, we'll see.
Yeah. Oh, and I forgot to say that they showed a little bit more of Red Hulk at D23, which looked freaking awesome. I don't know if you saw the videos. It looked pretty cool. It looked really fun and cool.
Other things, I'll fire it off right here. Another Incredibles. So we're gonna get a third Incredibles movie. Moana 2. Gonna get that as well. Mufasa, The Lion King, a prequel of the relationship of Mufasa and Scar. Again, Lion King, huge money maker. I guess we never got to see Mufasa and Scar's relationship, so why not do a live action prequel, right? Instead of doing a cartoon.
They did show a trailer too.
They did show the trailer, so we're gonna get that. Frozen 3. And also they hinted at a potential 4th film. So again, Disney Pixar is just gonna listen. I like Disney Pixar; they crush it. So besides obviously Lightyear, that one obviously. I mean, I thought Lightyear was pretty good, but it failed.
Lightyear was too bad.
It wasn't too bad,
Lightyear.
but box office it failed. It failed at the box office big time. But I thought Lightyear was pretty good. And then of course, for anyone that is looking to go on a vacation, you know, the Disney parks there's going to be a villain area, and they're also going to be building a Monsters Inc. Area as well. So for anyone that's looking to go to Disney parks in the future, they're building those things. The villain park, I think, is pretty cool.
Yeah, we actually talked a little bit about Tron and a new one coming out next year, and I'm super excited for Tron. Super excited.
Yeah, we touched on that earlier, but I wonder if the villain park's going to be geared more towards adults, because obviously we don't really, you know, see too many kids in these Disney movies. Like, oh yeah, I'm a big fan of fucking Scar. So, well, if it's going to be geared more towards adults,
I think it's going to hit more towards kids, but
yeah, maybe both. Disney adults are pretty much kids, coming from someone who has, experience being a Disney adult. So basically being a kid. So that's really it for D23, right? We pretty much touched on everything that was announced. I know you and I talked about this earlier. We want to touch on it a little bit, and that's Gamescom 2024. It's going to be Wednesday, August 21st to Sunday, August 25th. Dan, anything that you kind of hope for or maybe want to see?
So I think for the most part, we're going to see a lot of the same stuff that they showed at their last showcase. So I'm hoping we're going to see a little bit more new Sea of Thieves stuff. Maybe a little bit of Diablo. I know the new DLC is coming out in October. They showed out a lot of it, so hopefully maybe they could show some more content in that area. I'm looking for more of that Starfields as well. Let's see. There was another game on my mind, but I can't even remember it. With them buying out Activision, a lot of people want that World of Warcraft subscription added to Game Pass, which I don't think will ever happen because WoW makes way too much money for that to happen. But there's a lot of potential. They're going to be there. Nintendo's going to be there. Apparently, this is going to be a very big showcase for Xbox.
Actually, let's see. Apparently, well, it says I don't know how old this website is, but apparently it says unlikely. Nintendo's already confirmed that it won't be a Gamescom. In a general sense, they won't be at the opening night live, but you might see some games here and there. So it's like very 50-50, it seems.
That's fine. I'm more excited for Xbox anyways. I mean, I don't really play too much Nintendo. Just show me a little bit more Fable. That's another thing I've been really looking forward to.
Yeah, I mean, right now, these are the games I'm looking right now. These are the games that are confirmed for opening night live. That's Black Ops 6, Sid Meier's Civilization 8, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Dune, the Dune game Awakening, Monster Hunter Lost Records, and a new game from Tarsier Studios. So that's what confirmed for the opening night live. As far as the other days, we don't know. But I agree. I want to see a little bit more Fable. I do want to see what's in store for 2025, because obviously 2024, as we look at the calendar, is pretty much kind of, remasters, remakes, things like that. Like we got Star Wars Outlaws at the end of the month. We have, Dead Rising, remaster. We have, what's the other one? We have Lollipop Chainsaw. I know that's a little bit different. That's like kind of a niche thing. But that one's also getting a upgraded version as well. I'm just pulling up the dates here of what is, coming out for the rest of the year. But it's pretty bare bones. I mean, the good news for Call of Duty fans, it's Game Pass, right? But when we look at September, there's that Harry Potter Quidditch Champions. Maybe we'll see some more gameplay of that. There's Dead Rising, which I mentioned, a Lollipop Chainsaw, Legend of Zelda Echoes of Wisdom. Let me see. Silent Hill 2, maybe we'll see some more gameplay for that, possibly.
Silent Hill is going towards more Sony.
The marketing is more towards Sony. But yeah, there's really, like I said, I just want to see what we're looking forward to, it looks like, for 2025. So maybe we'll get some early release dates, or maybe release windows and gameplay from, 2025.
So Mike, to answer that question, Switch 2, I think, is supposed to be announced by the end of the year, but things change. So hopefully we'll see some stuff on Switch 2. And as far as StarCraft 3 goes, a dream could be a dream, and a StarCraft 3 will be more likely than a Half-Life 3. That's an absolute given.
Yeah, Half-Life 3, I think, has been teased for how long? I mean, I don't even, God knows how long that game has been teased for.
Gaiman doesn't believe in the 3.
Right. He'd rather just, I mean, I would prefer a Left 4 Dead 3 over a Half-Life 3, man. I mean,
Left 4 Dead 3.
Instead we got fucking that other game that was okay. It wasn't it wasn't Left 4 Dead 3, but hey,
Oh,
it
Bad
was.
Blood or something like that. Someone.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, it
Are
was
you
okay.
getting what's random? Are you getting Star Wars Outlaws?
I am. So I have Ubisoft Plus on my PlayStation. It's because it's free with PlayStation Plus. I'm probably just going to upgrade to the version of Ubisoft Plus just until I beat Star Wars Outlaws, and then I'll just cancel it.
Good
Because
choice.
if you get it through the you get the edition of Star Wars. I know again. I know I said it before. I know there's just so much hate going towards this game already, graphically,
A lot of
gameplay
hate.
wise, but at this point, can you really listen to the? I mean, it's just if it's just the algorithm right now on the internet. So if you're not being negative or hating towards something, your algorithm's not going to be good. No one wants to hear anything positive. They want to hear this game sucks. These graphics suck. Fuck Star Wars.
There's
Like
always
that's
something
all they.
wrong.
There's always something wrong. So what my thing is, I'm gonna, like I said, get it through Ubisoft Plus, and if I don't like it, then I'll see it for myself. I'll play it. To me, I think it looks pretty good, right? It's an open world Star Wars game. It's something that in KOTOR, it wasn't full open world. It was more linear, but there was, of course, there was RPG elements, so there was a lot to do on these worlds. So, I'm hopeful that there's a lot to do in the sense that it's not too RPG heavy, because at the end of the day, it's still an action adventure game. But I mean, I think people forget the Jedi Survivor series was really good. Both games were really good.
Jedi
You know,
Survivor.
yeah, and they're not graphically insanely impressive. I think the graphics are good, but they're not insane. And those games are good. They're both successful games. So, we'll see.
Yeah, you'll let me know. I don't know. I don't plan on playing it right now, but never know.
Yeah, and then other than that, Ubisoft's other, we got Assassin's Creed Shadows, which obviously the last Assassin's Creed game went back to its roots, not so much being RPG heavy, kind of went back to its Assassin's Creed roots, so Shadows would be in the same limelight. But yeah, I mean, I didn't even know this was being announced. Shadows of the Damned, L remastered. I didn't even know that was being announced. Wow, I'm very excited now because Shadows of the Damned is a very, very underrated game that came out on Xbox 360. So, hell yeah, I would look forward to playing this again. As
Mike,
well as, I'm sorry, again.
no, I was just saying, Mike, I did not know that, but they were required by the same people that make PUBG. That's correct, right?
Yes, today
Um,
that Tango Studios was acquired by the team that
it's like
that
Afton,
makes
yeah.
PUBG.
Well, and you know what? That's good because now they could possibly save Hi-Fi.
And Tango game, obviously Tango is a good studio. Evil Within, Hi-Fi Rush. So people were very, very upset when they closed. It always stinks when a good studio that's making good
Yeah,
games.
Ghostwire, yeah.
Yeah, Ghostwire wasn't too bad. I thought Ghostwire was very kind of under the radar. I think it got a little bit of flack for, again, no reason. I thought it was a good game, underrated game
That's
for
random though,
sure.
man. It's definitely a random purchase, but it's good. They're saved though. I like that.
Also, we're getting the Thing remake as well, the old PS2 game.
Oh, dude, really? That's sick.
Yeah, that's getting remade as well. So, yeah, the rest of 2024 is a lot of remakes, remasters, and then a couple other games thrown in, like Mario Party Jamboree, which we talked about, Sonic and Shadow Generations. If you played the original Sonic Generations, it was a fun game. So, I mean, there's games definitely to look forward to, but it's not a huge AAA games that we're going to be expecting during this holiday. I think 2025 we should be getting a good chunk of AAA games.
2025 is a stacked year. I think the next
Seems
2 years
like
are
it.
going to be pretty stacked.
It seems like it, right? What they announced at the Xbox showcase, and we don't even know what Sony has in store for their exclusives. So yeah, I think 2025 will probably get back to form with gaming, and of course they're saying, well, the problem is that there's the strike happening right now as well with voice actors in gaming. So fingers crossed it doesn't affect it too much like it did with movies, because a lot of movies and TV shows got pushed back. But according to Rockstar, GTA 6 is still on track to be released in 2025. I don't know how I
I don't believe that.
believe them. I don't believe that either, because I always feel GTA is always 2 to 3 pushbacks every
Always.
single time it's announced.
Always.
Yep,
I
yep,
don't
Mike.
think
It
Rockstar
always
had
do.
a fucking release date for GTA that was on point.
No, I don't think so. It's been a very long time. I mean, since I remember, but I agree. I agree. Do we have anything else we want to talk about before we into the comics portion?
We could. Well, are we going it into? We'll talk about that Game Pass updates and everything.
Go ahead.
All right. So, as much as you guys know, that Game Pass is changing up their pricing structures a little bit. So we're just gonna briefly talk about that a little bit and see what's gonna go on with that. So with the new update coming to Game Pass console is going away. If you're already a subscriber to Game Pass console, you will stay in that level. You'll still retain access to day one and existing libraries, and then whoever joins Game Pass console now will automatically be bumped to Game Pass Standard, which will be $15.99 with the Game Pass library and live, but will no longer have day one or cloud gaming. The only tier that's going to have that is Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is now going to be jumped to $20 a month, and that will still include PC Game Pass, Day One, Cloud, EA Access, and any other features. And then PC Game Pass will be $12 a month with Day One, and those prices are supposed to be taking place September 12th.
Everything's going up.
Yeah, everything is going up, but I had to see that coming, especially after the purchase of Activision.
Yeah.
And then they got Call of Duty, so they're all going to be bumping up their Game Pass subscription pretty big. I think Ultimate was what, $16 or $17,
I believe so.
and now it's going to be like $2-3 more, which isn't a terrible. What they need to do, yeah, that absolutely, Mike. The value is there. Game Pass is absolutely still worth it, 100% at a $20 price point. I do wish that they would bring back 1 year subs. I do miss that, and you know, which they kind of talked about very long time ago about bringing in family plans for up to like 4 or 5 people. I think they tested this in different countries, and apparently it worked well. And I was hoping that we were going to be able to see some of that brought here, but it doesn't look like it's our time yet. But I think they would lose such a big market for the US if they did that.
Yeah, I mean, I know obviously we have the Family Pass through Nintendo, which I think works really great. But of course, Nintendo doesn't charge as much as what Xbox is going to charge. I mean, $20 a month, I don't think is a bad value. Obviously, they're going to have Call of Duty, and let's be honest with ourselves. Call of Duty is still a huge moneymaker as far as with content creators. I mean, a lot of the big content creators are Call of Duty streamers. You have esports with Call of Duty. It is still a mass market. So think about maybe all the subscriptions they are going to get as far as console players. And, is it going to be for games for when? Is it going to be on PC too? Call of Duty on Game Pass?
Yes.
So look at that right there. So there you go. You have, you're going to have PC people subscribing to Game Pass. So, they know what they're doing. They're smart. I think it'll definitely be more worth it as well once their first-party exclusives start to come out, hopefully in 2025, which is, Perfect Dark, the new Gears of War, Fable. Once more exclusives start to come out, people who are obviously not a fan of the Call of Duty games, I also agree. I think it's worth it overall. Bethesda, you have all the Bethesda games. You get all these third-party titles that also show up there after several months. So it's a good value. I know $20 a month does seem like a big hike in price, but like Dan said, it was the inevitable with the purchase of Activision, and again, the mountain of games that are at your disposal. It's still a good value as well. I agree.
And we game share, so
Yeah,
I'll buy 3 months and you buy 3 months. It kind of alternates, so that's right there. I mean, you're saving money regardless.
yeah. There's always sales, right? Like, we always get lucky, and we seem to find a good sale on the 3 month package, so it's good. But introduction to something new for comic fans out there. We got Pat's Spidey Pickups of the week. So I'm going to talk about, there could be back issues, it could be new issues. If you are on our live on Twitch, you could actually see the covers. And of course, if you're listening to our audio, maybe you have this copy as well. So let's get started.
Just
And
drop it, baby.
hopefully it doesn't get enticing for you to buy more comics, Dan. But we'll see. So we got Amazing Spider-Man issue 245. This is the first full appearance and the death of the Hobgoblin, and this Hobgoblin is Lefty Donovan. So here is the cover. Let me go to Discord so I could actually see what I'm showing, and there is the cover there. Spider-Man unmasking the Hobgoblin, this version of the Hobgoblin, because there are several. And also, this is the death of Lefty Donovan's Hobgoblin, issue 245. This also is part of like a Hobgoblin arc. There was a couple of issues of all these different Hobgoblins, and here's one. Nice little back issue
Yeah, I'm
right
gonna
there.
have
This
to
comic book.
get some screens made for comics.
Yeah, I'm trying to see the release date of this comic. Normally, I thought CLZ tells. Oh yeah, this came out July 5th, 1983. So one day after the 4th of July in 1983. And in 1983, this comic was 60 cents. Man, can you imagine that? If comics were still 60 cents, that would be amazing. No pun intended. Also, we got Amazing Spider-Man issue 290. Nice cover there. Peter in the black suit and him talking to Mary Jane. This is another key issue. This is actually the issue where Peter proposes to Mary Jane. Peter Parker proposing to Mary Jane. This issue came out July 1987, and it cost 75 cents. So there was a 15-cent increase, it seems.
Did you read it yet, or?
Not yet. I did not. I do one day, if I ever have the PTO, we'll take a week off and read a shit ton of 80s and 90s Spider-Man comics, because I have a
You
lot.
have read a lot of those.
Yeah. But we got the new Spidey comic as well. I was a little hesitant to pick this one up, and I picked it up, and that is Spider-Man Black Suit and Blood. This is a Scotty Young cover. And basically, this is kind of just like a Spider-Man anthology of a bunch of different stories.
That's cool.
So it's pretty cool if you want to hop into a Spidey anthology that's going to have different stories. It was pretty cool. I was a little hesitant to pick it up at first, but I did enjoy some of the reads that it did have. You know what I should do? I should show the artwork. Right? So here is cool artwork right here. There's a lot of ads on that page, but here's some cool artwork there of Mary Jane.
That's nice.
Really cool art, and as you can see, the black and blood stuff. There really isn't that much blood, so I really don't know why. I guess they called it blood because there's red, but there's really no one's really bleeding in this book. So I guess they could have just called it black suit and red, but they wanted to be cool and call it blood, right? And last but not least, my last Spidey pickup was the Spectacular Spider-Men, which is a 1 in 25 variant cover of Peter and Miles Morales swinging. Dan, you trying to buy some comics again? You're missing out some
Yeah,
Good
I'm
storyline.
actually gonna start reading the Gargoyles Dark Age. I only read the
There you
first
go.
two, so I'm gonna try to finish that.
Interior art. Here artwork there. And really quickly, let me show you. Let's see. You see the difference in the artwork now, here in 2024. Let's look at the artwork, but it has a different, distinct smell because of the paper it was printed on in the 1980s compared to what the paper it's printed on now.
What are you doing? You sniffing pages from your comics now?
It's like when you get new shoes, though, right? You sniff the shoes.
You gotta get high off of that ink.
So you're like, look at this. Smells like, look at that. There's the artwork. I mean, it's still great artwork, I will say. But as you can see, the pages are much different
I
in the
remember buying
1980s.
some stuff at Comic Con with you, and then I touched the comic, and the ink just comes out on my hand. I still have it. It's wrapped up because I don't want to take it back out.
What did you buy? Because the ones I bought at Comic Con, which were the Batman. I bought there was a story arc with Batman I bought, which was awesome. Luckily, I did not have that issue. What happened with yours?
No, it was one of those. It was one of those indie ones. Let me see if I can pull it out while you show your comics.
Those are my
it was the one with the cat.
those are my Spidey pickups of the week.
I have like so many comics here now that I don't even read all of it. Can't remember which one, but I'll show it next time.
Yeah, no worries. But yeah, those are my comic pickups of the week. Spectacular Spider-Man is also a really good book as well. I believe they're about to be closing up on their story arc that they're on right now, and they're about to open a new one. Bless you. So it's going to be it's really good, really exciting. But that is it. Do we have anything else on the docket? Or I believe we are.
You know, Pat always
all
shows his
set.
comics and his pickups on his TikTok, so check him out.
Yes, if you want to see my comic hauls for the week, Rage Quit Pat on TikTok as well. I post my comic hauls. I post other things as well today. I post my all the figures that I own currently, subject to change, and some of my retro stuff as well. Dan also posts on the Inner Mom's Basement TikTok highlights from the episode, and Dan also posts some gameplay stuff from when he streams, some of the funny moments and some of the cool moments as well.
Yeah. But I think that's all we have for the show.
All right. Well, this is episode 78. Again, next episode's going to be 79. Then we go to our milestone 80th episode. So that should be a lot of fun. Definitely going to have some fun plans for that. Thank you all, our Twitch live audience that came in. Really appreciate it. And for our audio listeners, you can listen to this, of course, podcast. If you listen to it live, Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. We do it bi-weekly, not every week. So definitely join our Discord so you can get updates on when we go live for our podcast. And audio, you can listen to it Spotify, Google, Apple, and also you can listen to it on YouTube as well live. We have an audio and we have a video version that we post on YouTube as well.
Excellent. That's it.
All right. You ended?
No. Thank you guys. Thanks, guys, for listening. Have a great rest of your night.
All right. Thank you, everyone. Take care.
You've just listened to the In Our Mom's Basement, a video game podcast with your hosts Dan Giofue and Rage Quit Pat. Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes or Google Play. See you in the next episode.